Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Out of Mana podcast, where I'm joined with the real Shiesty and myself at Josh Ricast. You can catch us live every Friday on Twitch on either of our channels, or you can catch us the following day on YouTube with a video version of the podcast, or you can catch us on Apple Podcast or Spotify for the audio version. We finally figured out the issue, so all the episodes should be good for now on. But in that, if you want to follow us on social media for updates whenever we go live, make sure you do that at the Out of Mana podcast or our individual social media. But if you guys enjoy this episode, make sure you guys like, comment, and share your opinions on whatever we talk about this episode. But in that, how you doing today, sir?
Overall, I'm doing pretty good. Little tired, fatigue. Been that way pretty much all day today. I've already had like 2 energy drinks, which is not good. But that's kind of where I stand. Other than that, how about yourself, sir?
Um, so pretty much, I am in the same boat as you, but my fatigue is more due to extreme allergies. Because I'm not sure if anybody else experiences allergies, but for some reason this week, with the constant flux of hot and cold and everything blooming, it's just been a nightmare for people with allergies. Like, I've been sneezing so much where my nose actually, like, it's peeling. It looks like a snake. You can't see it on camera, but it's bad.
hmm Yeah, you shared with them, I mean, right before we went live, and I'm like, oh, that sucks because I know exactly what that feeling is. And surprisingly, today, I guess overall has been my best day. Like, I have not had them as bad as you have. But for whatever reason, like the majority of the week, my left sinus system was jacked up. Like my left eye, for the most part, was not like really bad watery, but just enough to be irritable. Um, but thankfully, the nose was more or less fine. It was mostly just the eye, um, and it was I guess like triggering my asthma a little bit. But I didn't have a full-fledged asthma attack at all, thankfully. But I did have to take my inhaler a few times this week, just out of like precautionary measures. I was like, let me just take a hit.
So I have to ask. So I think I may have seasonal asthma because usually I can't tell unless if I start getting active, and then I could start feeling it being hard to breathe because for some reason the congestion in my lungs just make it difficult. But is that what
Mhm.
you have, or do you just automatically have shortness of breath right away?
Unfortunately, I tend to have shortness of breath like almost right away.
Okay.
Um, but allergies in their own right seem to trigger asthma, regardless of activity, right? So to your point, that could be credible, for sure. Um, I don't know if it'd be enough for your doctor to want to like give you an inhaler. I wouldn't see why not. You just
Well,
never know, but
I actually have been prescribed an inhaler, but I
okay,
rarely use it because
yeah,
only certain times it gets bad, and like maybe like
yeah,
once a year.
yeah.
But it like I was moving a whole bunch of boxes the other day, and when I was going up and down the stairs like at least 10 times, I was like breathing heavy, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like every time I breathed in, it's like I kept on having to cough because like, every time I breathe, the congestion will come back up, and I'm like,
Mm,
dude, the mucus is choking me.
mm, yeah, that's disgusting.
It is,
But
but for some reason, like just the movement of the lung is like just pushes it up, and you just gotta cough it out.
yeah, no, I don't think I've ever had that issue, but no, like for whatever reason, allergies uh definitely do induce shortness of breath, which then can, if it gets really bad enough, give an asthma attack. But thankfully, I haven't had a full-fledged attack, but the shortness of breath really has been hitting me recently, this like last probably 10 days. So,
I just think it's funny because I usually try not to take pills, but when it's allergies, I do. Since it's gotten so bad, I've been popping one of these every 6 hours. I think it's like a
oh,
12-hour one, but for some reason, maybe because my allergy is so bad, it only lasts like four. But
yeah, I chalk it up to like if I take a pill and it's not working, I'm just SOL. Like I just kind of give up
yeah,
and just be like, well, if the medication's not going to work, I'm SOL. I'm screwed. Like I really try not to double down or take that more frequently than not. I think I have tried in the past, and I was like, nope, it's just not going to work. Like the allergies, they won. Like I have to suffer.
yeah. It sucks when it flares up so bad. It's like if you don't catch it beforehand, it's like you said, you just suffer. And it's like so much that you know that there's nothing you can do, and the worst thing is that because of all the draining, the mucus, and the sneezing, you get this horrible headache that you're just like, all right, the only solution is I gotta sleep.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. Like sometimes that is the remedy. It's like I'm so miserable. I'm just gonna go put my head on the pillow and go to bed. You are not wrong. I was just gonna say that. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just like
or even
it's like you get so angry. It's like the only solution is I had to put myself out and then let my body sleep through the whole process.
yeah, that's like the one element that you won't get disturbed if you actually knock out. Like, okay, allergies, they're not gonna affect me now. I'm out. But like I'm sure that you've had to do this times too, where it's like to that point you go knock out when you go lay down. Like if your eyes get so bad, like you put like a wet or warm cloth on your eyes. Like that's what I generally do, and feels great.
And it's weird too, because like I'm not. I usually I'm very weird about making sure my hands are clean because I don't know, it's just what I do. But
Mhm.
whenever my eyes feel like like they're just puffy or whatever, they feel like something's in it because of allergies, and I put that washcloth on my eye. I notice that whenever I wake up, there's always more like what they call it, eye boogers, just whatever, eye gook,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, where did that come from?
Oh, homocos.
Yeah. But does that happen
um,
for you? Like it's just like there's like a clump right here, and you're just like my eyes weren't that
honest,
dirty.
no, I don't think I've ever. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had that issue either. No, can't say I have.
Then maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe
Maybe.
it's my grease, skin, dirt, whatever that just somehow like rubbed off my eye because I've been doing this too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it as well, but like I've tried over the years to get better with like getting a even like freaking tissue and using it instead of my own fingers and hands. Like you said, I try to be as clean as possible. But when it comes to micro shit and your eyes, I think it's best to try to use some sort of like tissue or something.
Do you use what's it called, eye drops at all,
I do.
dude?
They're right in front of me because I've been using them all week.
So I need to ask, can you? Well, you wear glasses though, right?
Every now and then.
Okay, because for some reason, anything when it comes to my eyes, I cannot do it. Like I've tried to like you know force my eye open, put the eye drops, and my eye always closes by itself, even though I'm trying to pry it open. And I'm like, why?
Really?
It's not gonna hurt me. And I know it's not gonna hurt me, but my eyes just shut.
I have that issue too, but like I guess I'm how can I put it? The reason why you do that is because expectation, right? Like you said, it doesn't hurt, but just that sensation of a drop hitting your eyeball is like weird. So it's like so you're like doing you're like come on, you fucking drop, would you go already? And then to your point, like sometimes then you blink and it hits your lid instead of your eyeball.
You
And
gotta
I
do it
just
all over again.
no, I'm just like, I'm just like, fuck it, let it run. Some of it will get in there. But but yeah, I'm like not a pro at it. But yeah, I use it. Um More times than not, it actually does a good job, but same thing, much like the antihistamine. There's times where drops aren't gonna be the solution either. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it just sucks.
I just wish I was good at the eye drops. Like I'm just perfect at blinking at the right time when it drops. My whole
Yeah.
family can just like not even hold their eyes, boom, 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 and they're done. Like
I
eyes
think
open, everything. I
the
can't do
other
that.
thing the other thing I wonder, and as we're discussing this, because I've kind of wondered this, like I'm always also like maybe more I don't know if concern's the right word, but I'm putting more attention on squeezing it just enough to get like one drop versus like doing a not like you're gonna go, but like just like be less timid about it and just be like, okay, let's squeeze a little bit harder, just to immediately get that eye. You know what I'm saying? To get that
Yeah.
drop out because I'm just like I'll take it and I'm like slowly squeezing it, and I think that alone is just like causing an issue. Like I don't know.
Maybe that's what I need
But
to do is just strong arm and just right in my
yeah,
eye.
me too. I was just like, you know what, just like hurry up and fucking be done with it. Um, but yeah, no, I have drops too. You know, allergy problems, man.
Yeah. But moving on
uh,
from allergy problems, what have you been playing this week? I know I've seen you playing World of Warcraft, obviously, and I know
yeah,
you're no longer doing mounts anymore. you're doing pets, right? You're like 1,500 pets or something.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll still. I'm like, I guess I'm running out of mounts per se. So now it's kind of like, okay, pets would be next in line. So I was at before, like, well, pretty much this time last week, I guess you could say. I was at like 1,000. I think it was 1,460 unique pets, and throughout the weekend, I went pretty hard. I ended up getting 50 pets, unique pets. So I'm at like 1520 now or something, or 1521. So yeah, I think I did a pretty damn good job. But I was playing that, and per our pod last week, we had so much Zelda talk. At one point, I did put in Age of Calamity as well, and I didn't even realize I haven't played through all the
Sort of
what's it called,
missions.
DLC.
Wait,
And
there's DLC in Age of Calamity?
yeah, there was like two, I guess, waves, and I guess I bought the season pass and totally forgot about it. So I popped it in, and next thing you know, it's like, here's this, here's that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Um, and oh god, I mean, I know you started it. I was watching for a little bit, and like you see the map, right? And it's like my map has like shit like all over it, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do now. Like, it's so crazy.
So for me, well, I'll talk more about Age of Calamity later, but for the map part, I definitely understand because some of it is kind of like 3D where you can go underneath certain parts and then you go above, and then for some reason the map zooms in and it zooms back out. That's the part that sucks because you can't unzoom it out where you're trying to find your objective. But
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the map where you like the world map where you select your next mission.
wait, you have
I'm
trouble
I'm, I'm
finding it there?
no. I'm saying like my map, like I have so many things, so many missions. Like it's almost like flooded with missions.
Uh,
Like that's how much shit I have on it versus when you first start, it's pretty much open and you're like pinging new things, but mine has shit everywhere. And I'm like, fuck, like it's easy to tell what you really have to do versus not do. Like I get that, like the orange is the ones you haven't done at all, right? But I'm just like, I've been so far removed. I'm like, well, where, like, what's the next real objective or something like that? I don't know. But anyways, I was playing it for a little bit, and I don't know if like what I don't know how many like objectives you've done yet or missions you've done, but on average, how long do you think it's taking you per mission?
so for if we're talking about the main missions, like the main campaign stories, originally it took me 30 minutes, but
Okay.
because I understood the levels later on,
hmm
they're now
hmm
taking me about 15 to 17 minutes.
Okay. That's still. Do you think that's still a little time consuming?
No.
No. Okay. Like I did a new one myself, and I think I didn't time it, but I'm pretty sure it took me about a half hour as well, or if not, maybe even a little bit longer. And I sat there and I kind of remembered that I was like not that I don't like it. I'm just like, man, like it's kind of a little challenging to just burn through. Like like some of those levels take a little time.
So, one thing I found out about playing Zelda Age of Calamity is that, if you build your character some way, because you can actually fuse your weapons to get certain stat
hmm
abilities, and
hmm
I fuse certain weapons to make certain encounters much, much easier for me.
hmm
Like, for example, I have the Master Sword now,
hmm
and I have it where it's basically my attack speed's increased, my if I stay at full health, which you want to do with the Master Sword because that's where you get the Wind Slash. I also do plus damage with that. I also have some like regen ability, whatever. And because of that, and as long as I have apples, I can just slash through hundreds of people and not take a single hit and just run through them after that. And then also because my dodge ability is high, and if I see my objectives further out, I just keep dashing through them and not get hit.
hmm So like I guess pro tip slash without spoilers, you may have already counted this. I don't know yet, but um, obviously everyone jacks up Link. I think everyone's done that. But you'll reach points where you realize you should have spent more time with other characters.
Well, so no, this game makes it super easy to auto level everything because there's a guild thing where you can actually spend
I know,
rupees to level them up, and
but
because you're doing missions, you're getting weapons for those other characters as well, and you can infuse that to get the stat abilities for those certain characters. And if you're playing, you can actually see on the map when you're like doing the missions. If those other characters have certain objectives, they'll ping like yellow or whatever, and you just
mhm.
immediately switch to them in your next objective. And I was just like,
So,
that's like the best thing ever that they actually go separately from you and go to where they're supposed to be.
yeah, but like but beyond that, like unless I'm just now admitting I suck at the game, which could be true. Like I'm broke. Like I like I went to power level stuff and fuse and stuff. I'm broke. Like I don't have any money. I know you could go back in and farm money, but like I don't think rupees is easy to come by in that game.
Oh, dude, it is. So if you, like I said, if there's certain builds, like so, Link has a like one, what's it called like the hammer, mallet, bat, whatever. You can actually use your infusion to get like plus material drops and all that stuff, and then you can use your cooking abilities to get extra drop rates. And there's certain missions in the Garuda area where it's like you gotta kill a whole bunch of moblins, and just because you have all that stat stuff that drops everything, you do that, it takes about 2 minutes. You go to a vendor, you can easily make 16,000 rupees within 5 minutes.
mm, yeah, I'll probably have to look up those tactics. But
I mean, even if you
but no,
play
like
casually, you still get loads of materials that drop and you just sell them on the vendor.
oh yeah, I know, but I just feel right, like I said, I played the other day. I was like, man, I didn't realize I was so damn broke, because they introduced a new character and blah blah blah, and so like I'm like, oh my god, but yeah, it was fun to pick it back up. Kind of easily remembered how enjoyable it is. Right, it's kind of like leisure, just hack and slash, and yeah,
So I've never played. This is the first time of me playing any high roll game. I didn't play the other one. My first time playing a high roll game. I'll just say, like when you think of lore wise Link, this is what I imagine him just going through hordes, demolishing everything in his path. And dude, playing it is just a lot of fun. This might be my second favorite Zelda game of all time.
oh damn. Now, don't you think now how much more fun it would be playing with somebody else?
Well, dude, it sucks that the fact that there is two players, it's just only local two players. But if there was like online, like let's say I'm Link or you're Link, and then the other one's Impa or Pure or whatever the other people, dude, that'd be so cool. They had the option and they completely dropped the ball. They botched it.
Yeah, yeah. It would be a lot of fun to have even just two players. I mean,
Yeah,
and I have like there was a few times where a friend came over like, hey, you want to throw down on this for a little bit? And that's what I'm saying. Like it is fun, but it's a shame that it didn't have online functionality.
dude. If the next Hyrule Warriors, hopefully there is another one. If they add online, dude, the speed run just capabilities would be insane. If you had two people, you both go your separate ways, you get the objectives on you, just blitz everything in your path.
Yeah, yeah, it would be quite fun once you start memorizing the objectives. Yeah, but yeah, I think I'm gonna still play a little bit more of that as well. Shit, I was just getting emails that next week I'll be getting my new Switch. I was like, damn, it's time already! Like, oh my god! And I had a friend over the other day on Wednesday, and we excuse me rewatched the latest trailer, and we're just like nerding out over it again, like we did our own um, pause and stop and just like over analyzing everything. Like we're just so fucking ready.
I'm just keeping myself pure. So how much game time do you have on this game?
Oh, that it's funny because I did notice that. I want to say I was only in the 40s hours, like 40 something, 44, 46.
What level are you?
Link, I think he's 81 or something.
That's not too bad.
80 something, yeah. And he's obviously the highest. Like everybody else, I forgot what levels they were. I want to say everybody was at least half of that or higher.
It's just funny because when we're talking about this game before I even played it, you're talking about how much of a grind it was, and in my mind, I kind of played it up as being like a real grind where you have to play every single character, level them up all individually, and then when I realized that you could auto level them up with rupees, I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
not so bad. Because I'm like,
yeah, no,
dude,
you
100 levels per character, you gotta play through all that. I'm like, dude, that's gonna suck so bad. And I'm like, oh, auto level.
yeah, no, they did have that. I mean, I did remember that, but I wasn't trivial to like the tricks, right? Like I just was you just mentioned the word pure. I was going in it as pure as possible. Um, so like I kind of myself made it grindy, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna take like I said, you'll even though you can power level them in a sense, like you're gonna have the missions where you could only use those. So like even though it's a hack and slash, the cool thing is a lot of them they play different, right? So like their combos are different and their playstyle is different. So like when you're going in, like you're like me at least personally, I was so custom as Link, and then you play someone else. It's like, oh, I got to kind of change up the tactic a little bit.
So it's funny when you're talking about the tactic. All the tactics for me, I've usually been able to blitz through because I've had certain builds. The only ones I haven't been able to blitz through until I got the Master Sword was the objectives where you have to kill so many enemies but not take a single hit. And I would
Mm.
play so scared. I'd be like all the way in the back, throwing bombs, waiting till my things get back, and then throw bombs again, and then keep moving forward. I'm like, I'm not taking a hit. I'm not restarting this mission. I'll take 10 minutes if I have to. This mission's
Yeah,
going down.
those are fun. Because like to your point, like it's a hack and slash game, but then they throw those type of or missions at you. It's like, oh shit, like I actually gotta be tactical about this now. Like, okay. So yeah, it's cool. It is a fun game. Like, and like I said, I think they did a good job with it. I've never played any Dinosaur Warrior game, but like even just the storytelling. Like I said, I think they did a really good job with the storytelling in that game.
So you can ruin this room because I have questions. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if you need to play Breath of the Wild before you play this because it seems like there's a lot of missing pieces in Age of Calamity. Because like when you play through, obviously it's a prequel. This is before Calamity happens. You're trying to prevent it, but it seems like this is like an alt version of the history because as you're playing through, you realize that the Sheikah Slate and the Guardian are actually transporting people from Breath of the Wild timeline into the Age of Calamity timeline to help prevent this from happening. But really, all you're doing is just playing the events out as they originally were going to. And because of that, you're seeing future and past characters meet each other. You're seeing what you call it, Zelda and Link kind of going through their powers again, and I'm like, why? So if they had their powers in Age of Calamity, how did they lose it and then get it again?
So that's why it's like when you ask the question is pretty, I'm like yeah, but like when I first played the moment I first played it, and I was talking to my buddy that's also a huge Zelda fan. I was like, damn, this is probably gonna get received really bad because like it seems like they immediately retconned it. Like the whole Breath of the Wild game is like, I'm like, I'm not against it, but like it's just an interesting take. And even now, like it has me wondering, like, is it canon? Like what's canon now? Like I don't know if they ever maybe I just it's probably out there. I just haven't researched it. But like you go through Breath of the Wild, which you'll eventually do. And to your point, everything you said is what's true, right? You're going through the events beforehand, and and now that I'm playing the DLC, it's even more intricate than what you've experienced. Um, and I don't even know if I want to share that with you yet, or you said you don't care.
Yeah, because like
so
so I'm
so
I'm 13 hours in the game, and I think I have
mm-hmm,
like 4 missions left before I actually beat the whole game.
mm-hmm,
I didn't know that there's DLC, so I have to look into that to see how much it is.
mm-hmm,
But dude, it's weird that you're watching Pura and I forgot what the other scientist guy.
mm-hmm,
They're doing research on the Sheikah Slate, which I thought that was weird that Zelda was kind of holding on to it, not Link, because in Breath of the Wild, Link does it.
mm-hmm.
But then when Pura is looking at this, she's looking at the Sheikah Slate, and it's showing her all the events from the future, and that's why when they're doing research, she has like, and then they like got that we could fix this, and then obviously the Yiga clan comes in, Calamity Ganon decides we're gonna play this. We know what's gonna happen too, so they the bad guardian takes over, takes the Sheikah Slate, and then makes Calamity pop up early.
Yeah. So speaking of Bad Guardian, so that's kind of like, I mean, somewhat part of the spoiler is like when the little robot comes through goes back in time. You know, the bad one also goes. The malice comes with it, and then takes it over from the past again. So you have the good one that time traveled from the end of the first original game, but at the same time, Malice followed it. Then Malice takes over that timeline's little robot. It gets a little wacky, and it's like like I said, I'm not really against it, but like it's like what am I supposed to believe here? Like what's true? And maybe it is all true, and that's why um, Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be like so like multiple timeline thing going on. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably have to do some more research, and still I have to replay and refresh my memory a little bit here. Um,
I have a feeling the whole concept for these two games is the just combination of timelines, because obviously, with the Zelda book that came out, they're talking about the four timelines, and this one seems to play with that idea of Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, even further by messing it up. And I think Tears of the Kingdom is you resetting it to its natural order, where instead both are going, fighting each other at the same time. He takes into one mainstream, or sorry, one main timeline. And that, like, I think that's why he's trying to fix the whole Hyrule area.
yeah, like it's gonna be interesting to see what story is gonna be told.
But I will say, I like I said, this was the first Switch game I ever owned. I only played through half of it, and I feel very weak in this game. Playing this version, I'm like, dude, what happened to his power to make him so weak? Because, like,
Oh
dude, Hyrule. I'm obviously it's the gameplay. That's all it is.
yeah,
But
yeah,
dude, when you're playing Hyrule Warriors, you feel like nothing can stop you. Calamity again is just like a tool in your way. Like it's just a little, I don't know, a little kid in your path. You're gonna take it down.
yeah. No, it really is like a play style, and dare I even say this, but like Age of Calamity kind of dare I say feels a little bit more realistic in that sense, where like maybe Breath of the Wild should have had a lot more enemies. Um,
I will
I,
say that Hyrule Warriors makes you feel the actual threat of the Calamity, because when you see the hordes of these monsters coming at you, you see the malice as well. You're like, okay, this is a true apocalyptic battle for a kingdom, and you get that sense of urgency. While in Breath of the
exactly.
Wild, you don't really get that feeling.
Yeah, but if you do like timeline it, like it would make sense a little bit more for Breath of the Wild to not be like Age of Calamity, because once again Age of Calamity is beforehand, so it's like okay, like this shit's gonna go down. This shit we're trying to prevent it. Versus like Breath of the Wild is like the calm before the storm again per se. Um, and then Tears of the Kingdom might be that storm again.
I will say though, the Divine Beast in the game, probably my favorite gameplay I've ever had in a while. The fact that you're just mowing down thousands of enemies in like I forgot what their names are. They're all confusing. But you got
Yeah,
the bird, the elephant,
yeah,
the
yeah,
whatever. It's just fun blasting them all down.
yeah, yeah. It's fun. But dare I say they get difficult? I don't really think they get difficult, but like I forgot which one it is too. To your point, but like one of them feels harder to handle. Oh, there was the chameleon, right? One was a chameleon, and then what was the fourth one? Oh, the camel.
Oh, the
So
elephant.
is it
There's an elephant. There's a bird,
elephant's the water
the
one, right?
gecko, and then
The
I
camel.
forgot what the Zora one
There's,
was, but
no,
no.
the Zora was the elephant. The fire is the chameleon. The bird is the wind, and then I think the camel was
Oh,
Gerudo, the
Duroc.
desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is Garud the king? I don't what. You're
yeah,
probably
yeah. I
right. I
think
have
so.
to. Yeah. But yeah, it's
But
a lot of fun.
well, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But
Who's your
to your point,
favorite
like
character?
like that game and Breath of the Wild are like so opposite of each other in gameplay. It's like crazy. Who's my favorite character? You said.
Yeah.
Um. Good question. I don't know. I kind of really do like the little robot that they introduced. He's kind of cool because he kind of has a little personality itself.
Which one, Guardian?
Yeah, the Guardian, the miniature Guardian.
You're basically talking about R2D2.
Yeah, basically.
Dude.
I don't know because there's like a wholesomeness to it, like its sole purpose is also kind of like trying to protect Zelda.
So
Um,
maybe you can answer this question for me because I guess I'm not familiar too much with all the characters, but there's a character called Yerbosa, and I believe the race called like the Garud or whatever.
yeah,
Are they
she's hot.
related? Well, yeah, but are they related to Ganon at all? Because they kind of look alike. They
So,
got the red hair,
the,
the body type that matches.
so Ganondorf is the only male to be born from Gerudo. Otherwise, they're all female. So, so related, I guess you could say that. But like the whole lore thing is like there's a male born like only once every whatever 10,000 years. So Ganondorf was that male.
And he just happened to be the ultimate evil.
Yeah, basically. And I guess he doesn't like the Gerudo women. I don't know why, because they
Dude,
look good.
they can all. So how does their breed even exist then? Are they like
It's
dragons where
it's
they can
it's
pop
it's
eggs randomly?
it's fantasy.
Like
That's a it's a
it
good question.
makes
It's
you
a good
question. You're like,
question.
how do they keep producing? Like when you're in the desert, you're like, there's thousands of them. I'm like, something has got to happen. Like, was Link populating the whole race?
Well, I was about to say, I think that's the thing. They actually find partners that are Hylian.
Okay. Yeah, it was just funny because like your Bosa is one of my favorite, and then the
Yeah, she's
Zora,
Bay.
yeah, dude, she's great. But then also
I was like, if I find a chick that cosplays as her, oh, I might have to just get on one knee.
but then also I've always liked the Zora. I don't know what it is about their species. They're like fish creatures, but then
Yeah,
I don't know whatever. But Mifa and
humanoid.
Sidion are
Sidon.
Sidon are just great. I love them. I don't know why I like the brother so much because he's kind of like an idiot, but he just wants to protect his family so much.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of has like that jock like persona to him a little bit.
Well, he's
Yeah.
got the build, but he still is like, yeah, you compliment him, he starts giggling, especially when it comes to his sister, and he
Hmm.
acts like a little kid.
Yeah, yeah. And then the what's it called? I'm brain farting the races myself, but like the birds, like they're a lot of them are more like cocky.
Oh, I don't like
Um,
Ravioli. I think his name is
Ravioli.
Rivali, but
Yeah, Ravioli. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're assholes. But and then the Gorons, they're like nonchalant, like we're strong.
I'm
That's about it.
convinced that Daruk is Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh
Oh
yeah, we gotta kill
yeah.
Ganon. You can't tell me
Yeah.
he doesn't sound like Macho Man.
Yeah, no, he does. But yeah, no, they like Zelda has really good you know, fantasy races that they use. So
Yeah, so I'm almost done with this. So if anybody's interested, I am doing the playthrough on my channel. I'm not sure if Steve is gonna be live streaming any of his stuff,
no, won't be
but
much.
coming up soon will be Breath of the Wild, and I'll be going through that game and getting ready for Tears of the Kingdom myself. But going back to World of Warcraft before I move on to my stuff,
Hmm.
um, dude, you have been grinding like crazy. What was it, Saturday or Sunday? You did like a 16-hour
Dude,
stream.
I didn't even realize I did. Like I'm dead serious. Like this pet stuff has been like time just flies. I didn't intend to stream that long. It just happened.
Yeah, because I think it was like I was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. I seen that you were live. I had your stream up. I was watching for a little bit. And then I had to do stuff, but I left your stream up, and I think I was live for like 6 hours. And I came back, and you were still streaming. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a long stream day. And then I still have to stream up. Then I did some more things, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. You're still on. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess he's not sleeping today.
You know what's fucked up is I could have probably really kept going. I wasn't even tired at the end there, but I'm like, you know what? I think it's time. I better just go knock out. But same thing with this past Tuesday. I mean, it wasn't 15, 16 hour stream, but like I did 3 hours of just pure power leveling of pets because they have something called Super Squirt today, where where there's I know it sounds very dirty. Where in your garrison there's a particular um, um, fight that you would do that's really easy where you could actually carry a pet. So there's that aligned with also an event that gives like 100% just bonus XP for this week. Plus, you could put on an accessory. So anyway, long story short, it really just takes like 2 fights to take a pet from level 1 to max, which is 25. So I did that for 3 hours, and those 3 hours like went by so fast. I felt like I was only playing for like 45 minutes. It was just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so I've been doing that, and other than that, I still haven't started Resident Evil yet that I showed off last week, and yeah, I got the Zelda itch too, of course. So I was playing a little bit more Age of Calamity. I probably still will play more, and then like I said, tap into Breath of the Wild, but non-game related, if I may, kind of go a little bit backwards. I just got something else in the mail today that I might end up doing tonight instead of gaming, and I thought one of these for the benefit of those that don't have video right now or won't watch this on video. I bought this Lego set called The Great Wave, which is basically just the art painting of the Great Wave, but in Lego form. So I want to make this and hang it up on one of my walls.
So is that just like a straight flat puzzle or
This,
Lego thing,
yeah,
or is it like a stack thing?
no, this one it's more flat than the Van Gogh one I have, but it's not totally flat. Like there's still some dimension to it, but not that popping like the Van Gogh one I have, like the Starry Night one.
I know I've said it
So
before. I really wish that you actually had like a little like folding table and like a camera set up and you like live streamed your Lego building. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, hell, like obviously you saw I did a 16-hour stream. I wonder how much time this would take, because like let's see, the Bowser one. I mean, I didn't do it all in one sitting. I did like a little bit at a time. But like the good thing is, like for those that haven't built something, I don't know, dare I say large, but like they pack all the stuff in bags and then they number it, and there's usually like 20 plus bags. So like every bag tends to take anywhere from like 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the complexity of it. So they do take quite some time. That's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like well, I mean, there's obviously Lego building is very popular on YouTube and all that stuff, but it's also grown a little bit on Twitch too. So I
Hmm.
feel like, I mean, to kill time, you build it. You also have people that enjoy Lego building. You can, converse with people that have different builds or like share pictures. It's just an idea I had because I think it'd be cool to. Obviously, I want to see you build Legos, but I don't want to go to your house and watch you build Legos.
Like I'm a weirdo, but I'm not that much of a weirdo.
But no,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I did think about that in the past too, but I just don't like. I don't know. I mean, I could probably still because I have the table here, and I could set it up pretty much right where I'm sitting. You just won't get that overhead shot. Like it would just be the same shot, and I don't know how people would enjoy that view because I think most people would probably have a dual shot now.
I mean, if they're really professional, yeah, but
Hmm.
if you're just doing casual building just for the fun of it, that's what really matters for most people. It's the talking and the building and the enjoyment of the process. That's usually
I
what
think
people like Legos for is the process of building it.
Yeah. I think too, like much like when I'm streaming anyway, right? When I'm wowing it up, I also like to engage with whomever that joins the chat, and like I think from afar, it would be really hard for me to see and to engage. Or
You
if I'm wearing
could
my glasses, I could probably see it though.
you could have it set up where you have it playing through your speakers and the chat actually gets read out loud.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah. But so before I move on from the whole World of Warcraft thing, um, so what's the goal for your pets that you're trying to do? Because obviously you said you're 15,
Ah,
21 or
yes.
whatever. Is there any
So
more you're trying to do, or you're kind of like maxed out right now?
no, I'm not maxed out. So there actually is an achievement goal to get 1,600 unique pets.
1,600?
1,600. So um, not that many people have it because it's so hard to get. Versus like mounts in the game, like okay, I have over 900 mounts, unique mounts, or account-wide mounts, but the highest achievement for mounts is only 500, which is like why? But for pets, it's all the way at 1,600 unique pets, and I think of all pets in the game, even the current ones that are no longer obtainable, I think the max amount in the game is something like 16, like 52 or something like that. So like you really have to have almost every fucking pet to get that achievement. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why now all of a sudden I'm kind of chasing it. I don't know how. I mean, it's all realistic, I guess, to some degree. But I guess like what I'm trying to get at is like there's I think a lot of pets that I'll probably would want to just pay for rather than grind because they're just so tedious. And I don't want to go broke. So with those elements, I don't know if I'll actually achieve it now. Maybe later down the line when they add more pets, that makes it like gives it a more of a buffer. Then I'll probably get it. But it would be cool to get now before, while it's cool, so to speak.
So, what do you feel is harder, getting pets or getting mounts?
Um, I mean, well, first off, I don't think hard's the word, but
I know, I could say grind because I know you got the
yeah,
gladiator mounts, the mythic plus mounts, but I didn't want to count those.
yeah. Well, I mean, but pets have that too, though. So that's the thing, right? Like, not like not in the sense where you need to get rating, but like for example, there's a pet that you have to be honor level 400, and I'm only two something. Uh, so it's like there's one that's really just an honor grind, huge grind. Um, and then there's a lot that are achievement based too. And then they have pet battling, which is pet PvP, which I'm not over the moon of doing. Um, but yeah, I mean, like pet battling is and collecting is really a game within that game.
That's
And
Pokemon and World of Warcraft.
it is, and I think like I mean, other streamers have gotten their popularity just on that WoW
Well, it's
game
kind of
aspect.
funny that
But
you say that because when you did the WoW race, whatever it was called,
yeah,
there's a streamer called Hazelnut Gaming, and I
exactly.
followed her because of that. But she
Hmm.
actually gained her popularity for pet battles.
Yeah,
Apparently, she has
exactly.
all the pets that ever came out. She has them all maxed out and all that stuff. And I didn't even know that about her. I thought she was just Mythic Plus. She has a great personality and she's entertaining. But no, she is actually known for pet battling.
Yep, that's how she got her claim to fame is pet battling. So like, and there's a website simply called Warcraft Pets that I don't think it's ran by her. I think it's ran by somebody else, unless she does have a hand in it. I don't know. Maybe that's something I don't know. But um, that whole website is just a database strictly for Warcraft
Mhm.
Pets. Um, yeah, pets are a thing. I used to be into it more. Um,
You're like, I don't play Pokemon enough. I can't be in the World of Warcraft.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what it was. I was like, I really like Pokemon, and I don't want to play Pokemon in World of Warcraft, but like, I guess here we are. But yeah, it's very popular. It definitely has. I think I don't know if it's a safe bet, but I'm pretty sure pet stuff is more popular than mount stuff.
I would say so only for the Pokemon aspect of it.
Yeah,
I know
because you
that sounds
can't.
just like a silly thing for World of Warcraft, but a lot of people like Pokemon. It's in World of Warcraft, and people like World of Warcraft. That's the only reason why it's more popular than the other stuff. In my
Yeah, I
opinion,
would
that's
say.
why.
No, yeah, that's all true and makes sense, and you can't fight mounts. So I mean, but now they got, but now they got dragon riding, right? So like, and dragon racing. So like, if they do find a way to turn all the mounts to accommodate that, maybe mounts will pick up again. I don't know.
I will. I know you don't like them, but Asmongold kind of gave mounts, or sorry, gave mount collecting more of a boost because he would do like the mount show off or mount off, whatever it's
Yeah, the
called.
mount off.
And I know you don't like him, but you gotta admit, because of him and him doing that showcase, a lot more people got into mount farming or mount grinding because of that.
Oh, for sure. I did it before he
You did
tried to make
before
me cool.
school.
But I mean, another thing. I mean, he's really what I've watched him do. That's just mind-boggling. It is the transmog competitions. Like
Oh,
like
dude, some of those are great.
like his fucking knowledge is just ridiculous.
Well, not
Like,
just his knowledge, but like the people that he's able to get to showcase also has extensive knowledge where they can make certain gear pieces that usually don't go well together, but they have like the color scheme for it, and it looks fantastic. Like I seen some guy like mix what was it called? Cataclysm, Mr. Pandaria, Warlords, and Shadowlands together, and it looked beautiful. And I'm like, what? They don't like the aesthetic of it doesn't even match, but somehow the colors bring it together.
mhm. Yeah, and then he like started doing. I don't know if he always did originally because like it's not like I follow the guy to know how he like introduced things, but like then he'll do the transmog he'll make them mount up to see then how cool it matches whatever mount they choose. So it is cool. I mean, it is kind of entertaining content.
So before we move on, I know that what's your next goal? I seen that you're pretty much exalted with every single faction except for the ones that you had a split choice at. Are you gonna go for anything else, or was it just some mounts and pets that you're gonna do?
I mean, I think the next thing would be toys. Although I've never really put effort into. I think the only time I put effort into is back maybe in Mist of Pandaria, which is a long time ago. But since then, I just acquired them as I play, and ironically enough, I have a lot of them just based on that. So I think next time I would probably be that. I don't think I ever see myself going down the transmog rabbit hole. It just like it doesn't get my nipples hard.
That
But
that's the one thing that gets me as a trans. I'm like, you got in order to play good, you gotta look good.
well, I mean, I'm fine with my tier sets, collecting my tier sets. Other than that, like I could give a flying, you know what?
You've been rocking that same transmog since
I
1922.
know, because I earned that shit, and you can't get it no more. Um,
Well, you can't get it.
no,
So what was that? Is that Cataclysm or is that Burning
that was no,
Crusade?
that was miss. That was miss. It was called challenge mode, and it was in some capacity you could say it was like Mythic Plus before Mythic Plus.
Oh, was that that
Um,
where you go into like that battleground thing and it's you yourself and you're fighting the waves?
no, that's something different. This was still dungeons, but all it was like a time trial. You just had to clear the dungeon in a certain amount of time. Like there was no affixes like Mythic Pluses these days or health increase. There was none of that. It was just you go in, it's Mythic, and they had bronze, silver, gold, and you had to get gold. You had to clear every dungeon in a certain time.
For some reason I don't remember that, but I do know I have pretty much most of the set pieces you have for your warlock on my priest.
It's probably a different color, and it's not the exact same. How can I put it? Exact same pieces.
They're pretty
Like
darn close. They look,
it
I mean, it's fell, and I definitely remember that I got that because before I stopped playing, that when I was really hardcore, I had a group that was always doing like Siege of Orgrimmar, Mythic. Was it Mythic? It's either that or Heroic, whatever the max was at the time. And I know we did whatever the max dungeon was, but I think I got those pieces. I'll have to
Yeah,
go back and
I
look.
know I know what you said you're talking about because that was a recolored set of I want to say it was tier uh, 6. I think it was tier 6. No, I'm sounding like Asmongold.
But that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see because I know that you're a an achievement. How do you say it?
Or
Or I guess you're trying to go for max. Obviously, there's certain things you can't get anymore because just the time block, which is it's stupid that they give you that FOMO, but I guess it makes sense if you're a true collector. You got to play through it all the way. But
but
it's cool how far you've come. I'm pretty sure you're like probably top 0.1% of the world already because there's not many people that have as many achievements as you do.
uh no, maybe I don't know.
Dude, I
But
seen your achievement
I
score.
just
I looked at the database from Wildhead. There's not that many people that have that achievement score that's high.
yeah, and then the encompassing of everything. Like I think I don't look at the grand scheme of things, but I'm sure I'm up there. But to actually answer your question, it just dawned on me. Um, Beyond mounts and pets, I'm gonna just honor grind, honor grind, honor grind, honor grind. So just straight up PvP all
Okay.
day, day.
Are you still working on? Because I know we talked about this a while ago, maybe like episode like 12 or something like that. That you were gonna focus on making community groups strictly for PvP,
Yeah,
so you can
yeah.
start doing
So
that.
I did make one, and I didn't really like heavily try to solicitate it. Um, but I actually bumped into one that I think is pretty decently active, and I just haven't spent time to roll with them. But every day they're making pre-mades, and I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe I don't have to make my own community.
Yeah,
Because
just
I was
join
like,
one that's already established.
yeah, exactly. Because like I was in a random group that went really well, and I'm like, this got to be a pre-made. And so I just asked my, hey, is there a pre-made? Like, can I get an invite? And I was expecting a party invite, something like maybe it was a group of four, and I could have been the fifth or something. And they linked me the community. I'm like, oh, okay, even better. But then I wasn't too sure how active it was. But since I've been in it, there's like groups every day, which is pretty badass.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So going on to my stuff because
Yeah.
I want to go through your stuff first because I know I'm gonna probably talk about this for a little bit. So I know the last few episodes I've been talking about how for some reason I'm just beginning to switch stuff. I don't know why I've been getting to switch stuff. It's just maybe the collecting purpose of it. And for some reason I guess switch stuff is going. The prices for some reason are starting to drop. Even like it's temporary and they go back up again. But I found so many great deals of games. Like I got Hyrule Warrior very cheap. I got a bunch of Mario games very cheap. Recently, I also picked up these three Pokemon games. Pokemon Legends of Arceus. I finally got it now. It's in my collection. Pokemon Scarlet now. I have both Violet and Scarlet. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeons.
Hmm. Interesting.
So, obviously, I will be going, like after Zelda, I'll probably start, Arceus again, beat this. Then maybe do like another playthrough of Scarlet just because, it's the primal version. But one thing I was really looking forward to is I haven't played a mystery dungeon game in a long time.
I've never played any of them, so I was actually going to ask you like how enjoyable is it? Well, I guess first question I was going to ask you, have you played it? But you already answered that. So my follow up is like, now how enjoyable is it?
So I can't remember if it was Game Boy or if it was DS. It was like Mystery Dungeon Blue or Red or whatever. Those are the ones I played.
Hmm.
And I guess they're kind of like RPG Zelda games in a way, where you have like companions. You go through dungeons, fight monsters, level up, and all that stuff. It's kind of like an RPG pretty much, just with Pokemon. So the ones I played before were really fun. I haven't played them in a long time, so I'm hoping it's kind of like the same concept where you go through the world, leveling
Hmm.
with your companion, doing
Hmm.
like I said, role playing. You're talking to other Pokemon, getting a story, fighting
Hmm.
legendary Pokemon as like Pikachu or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so it has me interested because I think before they used to do like the other games where they had like two versions, like red, blue, dark, white, whatever. But it seems like this is the only version of Mystery Dungeon they have for the Switch, which is DX.
Hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to playing this because I mean, looking at the back, it looks like it's the same concept, and I don't know what it is about these like I guess you want to call it secondary Pokemon games, like
Yeah.
Mystery Dungeon, and then there's also a game on the DS called Pokemon Rangers. I'm not sure if you played that, where it's like you had
No.
the stylus and you would like have to draw circles around Pokemon, and the harder they were to catch, you had to draw more circles, and they would constantly move, and if you lost your circle on them while they're moving, they would break free and all that stuff. I kind of hope that they also bring Pokemon Rangers to the Switch, but I think the last time they had made it was just the DS and 3DS, and that was it.
Yeah. I tend to stay away from Pokemon games that just don't have connectivity where you get to keep Pokemon. So if that concept didn't have it, then I never touched it. The only
Well,
ones I did were, or well, the only one I did was Snap and Hey You Pikachu.
so you might actually enjoy this game. You like Octopath Travelers, you like other games of that sort. This
Hmm.
pretty much plays the exact same way, but just with Pokemon. You got your
Hmm.
companion, you got your team, you unlock other you unlock other Pokemon that basically adds to your party. They all have
Hmm.
different abilities you go through, and obviously I think it's like a four-player comp, but you can switch them in and out. There's
Hmm.
obviously one main character,
Yeah.
but the other three you can switch out and out to make whatever comp you want. It's just fun, and plus you got items like the berries actually make HP, mana, whatever, attack power, whatever. So they actually play as a factor. And dude, I don't know why, but I'm just like so excited to play this soon.
Mm, cool, cool.
But dude, it's weird. Like I know I talk trash about Nintendo Switch that the system is garbage, but well, no, I still stand by my claim that the Switch is
I'm just
outdated.
playing.
But dude, the games right now, just because right now I'm just finding great deals on them, and the collecting purpose, I can't wait to collect them all. Like Pokemon Snap is also one of the ones I want to play because I haven't played Pokemon Snap since the Nintendo
Did they
64.
did they make a physical version of Snap, or was it
Yes,
only digital? Okay, okay. I wasn't too sure.
dude, go to GameStop. Well, unfortunately, they're not on sale. Like even pre-owned is like still like $60.
Wow,
But
that's
they
crazy.
they do have a physical one, which I do want to play because I know it's stupid. You're taking a picture of Pokemon, but it's fun. It's relaxing. It's cute, and I don't know why it's enjoyable. But dude, it's yeah. I also have Mario games. I think what was it? In the last episode, 2 episodes ago, I showed off Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario 3D World, and New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. And
Hmm.
it's just there's so many Nintendo games I want to play.
Yeah, it's I'll probably well, obviously, Zelda's coming out in a couple weeks, but like I think I still may have I might not even get the opportunity of replaying the Zelda games. If I do, it's probably gonna be like one day each game or something. But because I think I'm gonna have some games on the horizon myself in the weeks to come outside of Zelda. So,
Wait, what do you mean?
oh well, we'll save it for future podcasts. We'll call it a tease. But yeah, no,
When you
good
say you're
stuff.
replaying Zelda, are you talking about like just Hyrule Warrior and Breath of the Wild? Or are you talking about like other Zelda games like Skyward
No, no,
Sword, Link to the Past, and all that
no,
stuff?
no, no. I was talking about just non-Zelda games, just games in general.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
like,
you said you're gonna replay Zelda games like one a day or
well,
whatever.
well, no, like, yeah, no, no. I'm gonna hop in both games at least one day each just to play. Like, well, Age of Calamity more to kind of complete, I guess, and finish whatever loose ends I haven't done. But Breath of the Wild, I'll probably play the day before just so I could get, like I said, reacclimated to the handling and the play style again. Like
Mm.
I think that's probably gonna be my play. Like that Thursday, just to get in the mood and get controlling right, I'll probably play Breath of the Wild all day. Just get lost in the world, and then I better do it when I go back to work Monday. Put that Friday off, cause yeah, buddy.
So, so this is kind of weird. Now that I notice this, I realize that my favorite Nintendo games are usually their secondary games. Like my favorite Pokemon games are either Pokemon Colosseum, Gale of Darkness, or it's like Mystery Dungeon or Ranger, and the same thing with Zelda. I'm not sure if you want to count Age of Calamity as like a mainstream or a main title Zelda game, but like I prefer that, and then also Triforce Warriors over the other ones.
Interesting. Um, yeah, I think depending on how you ask, I don't think a lot of people would yeah, put Age of Calamity there. But in this case, like you really don't have a choice to, because I'm like when I was talking and asking about the whole canon thing, like I'm pretty sure it is. So it's like
I mean, they
even if
pretty much
that's
say it is at this
like
point.
even if it's not your cup of tea and it's not a traditional Zelda game, like you're kind of, if you are a fan and you claim to be a fan, you're kind of forced to play. But it's not a bad game. Like it's just not, it's not how Zelda any Zelda game is played.
Yeah,
But it's not a bad game. It's
but
it's
like,
fun.
even going on to like like non-main Nintendo games, like Luigi's Mansion is still my favorite Mario game.
Well, his
I,
last name's Mario, so it's not like it is a Mario game.
I know, but I'm talking about like how like they have like the main line and they have like the
Yeah,
subline
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
For some reason, there's secondary games that aren't considered like their main headlines have always been more enjoyable for me for some reason. I don't know what it is about them. They just maybe because I'm so used to the main ones being so. I mean, I don't want to use the word copy and paste, but
Hmm.
you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
While these other ones kind of mix it up a little bit,
Hmm.
and I like that. And then same thing with like, you know, um, one thing I have on the horizon, which I'm kind of looking for a cheap version, is I really want to get into Fire Emblem again, like the
Mm.
three houses and all that stuff, because the different stories for each game. and then kind of go back and collect for the Wii and the Wii U because apparently, well, all right, I'm gonna say I have a modded version of the Wii that can play the GameCube. Well, the Wii can play the GameCube, but it also can play Wii U games at the same time if you emulate it.
Mm,
So I'm kind of trying to go through that because for some reason I'm also fixated on playing all the Fire Emblem games again, like Fire
interesting.
Emblem Radiant, and there was another one that was on the Wii that was pretty good. I just want to get those games again.
What's the average? Because I've never touched a Fire Emblem game. What's like the average play time for those type of games?
So I think it really depends on the games. I think the newer ones are a lot longer, around like 30 hours. But I
Mm,
think the older ones maybe 20-ish.
mm, that's not bad.
But it also depends on the person playing. Like me, I like to go through the dialogue, so sometimes a 20-hour game could take 40 hours because I actually read the whole thing. And
Yeah,
if I don't care, it could probably be 15.
understood, understood. Yeah, I've never gravitated to that franchise. Which I don't know if you tell me this or my buddy Rob, but that they were shocked because I liked Final Fantasy Tactics a lot, and then I tried to play Triangle Strategy, um, and that's how Fire Emblem kind of plays, right? It's like a tactical game. So, um, I don't know. I guess didn't do it for me.
I am dying out here. So sorry for people that are seeing the video format, me just like coughing and sneezing and all that stuff. I'm muting my mic so you guys don't hear the sound, but dude, I
Yeah,
am struggling out here.
yeah. I mean, if it makes you feel better, you don't sound bad. Like there was other podcasts where you sounded bad, but at least like right now, I know you're probably still congested. I think I probably sound worse than you today.
Well, you don't hear me, but I'm constantly muting my mic and like clearing my throat, so my voice doesn't. Yeah, yeah. I sound like a 90-year-old man, like like I'm like if I don't do that, my voice will cut out.
That's funny.
But
Um, I,
is there anything?
I
So good.
oh no, I guess last thing before we move on, I was close to uh, performing an impulse buy because someone had linked that I guess Amazon, I think it was Amazon, was reselling the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga like edition or something, and I was like, nah, I better not do it.
It was
It was
like
like it was like
60,
it was
eighty
like nine.
dollars.
Yeah, no, it was like $90, and I'm
See,
like,
I hate to say it, never buy any games from Amazon,
well, I
especially
never have. I've
if
never have,
if it comes from like an actual distributor, sure,
but
but
but I
check the buyers because oftentimes the third
yeah
party options are
yeah
more inflated than any other store you'll ever find.
correct. Well, I think this was the because I was reading the comments. I think this was the rare case that because I think it was only originally sold through like whether it was IM or yeah what I8bit or whatever or what's the other site called? I always forget them. But well, limited run. I think it originally went through them, and I think what ended up happening is someone or Amazon themselves must have bought too many,
I
and now they're trying to like liquidate them.
I think I don't know if it was limited run. I think they actually hired an actual um publishing studio to actually produce the games because I know that they were in GameStop, Walmart, Target, and all that stuff for a
Mm,
very limited time. Like the store
maybe.
that I go to back in the game, they
Mm-hmm,
also had the Cowabunga collection. They actually still do, and it's
mm-hmm,
$60.
mm,
And
interesting.
I know we talked about this before, and I'm still down to do it, but I really want to get Shredder's Revenge. And I want to get the Cowabunga collection, and I'd love to play it co-op with somebody because I think
Yeah,
those are four-player co-op games.
I believe so. Yeah.
And I think the Cowabunga collection has some online issues, but still playable. But I know Shredder's Revenge, I heard pretty good reviews about it.
Cool, cool. Yeah, because I remember we did talk about it that one time, and contemplating on doing a digital download for that. But
Oh, I'm doing physical, no digital.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it's turtles. Like, how can you not? But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on. Like,
That's pretty cool.
I
Actually,
almost had impulse buy.
now that you mentioned that, I think there was something I linked to you on Twitter, and it was about Pokemon. So there is, I don't know if it's like a fan made thing or if it's like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah,
concept.
yeah, yeah. I know
It's
what you're
about
talking about.
Pokemon in like a 2.5D HD, whatever.
That
And
shit looked fucking badass.
And as much as it looked cool, I'm like, I still like the 3D version better. Like the DS
No.
one better.
Well, okay. I will agree with you. I will agree with you there. Like I always said that. Like I believe it was like what was that? Sun and Moon series?
X and Y look the best for me.
Where I was like for me that was like the epitome of how Pokemon should look. Like it wasn't like bad cartoony, it was just like the right amount of cartoony. Like I don't know. I thought that for me was like the pinnacle. Um
Right now, since we're talking about, look up a picture of X and Y and then Sun and Moon, and tell me which style you prefer better. I still think X and Y looks the best.
I'll do it. Just not now.
All right.
But no, but when I saw that I was like it looked awesome. It looked great. I wonder how the fighting would look, right? Because
Yeah,
that's
because it'd
where it
just
would.
be the classic 2D sprite.
Yeah, that's where I think it may suffer. But if you like did like a spiral effect and come out and then it looked like whatever X and Y and Sun and Moon, I don't know how that would translate either. But yeah. Either way, just that style though, it did look nice.
Yeah, I shared that. I was like, I'm like, I personally thought it looked cool, but I don't want to play it. But I was like, I got to share it with you. I knew it would kind of captivate you for a second.
Oh yeah, no, it looked great.
All right, so we could probably move on to our first topic. Unfortunately, there's only one. It is the Indie World news. Because is this Nintendo's first Indie World, or have they had others?
Yep. Nope. This is their first. Where it's I guess it's gonna be a direct. That's a long form direct. That's just indie. Like I don't know. I saw it. I didn't really fully read into it, but
Oh, you didn't watch it at all?
no. Oh, I don't think it's out yet.
It is out. It came
Oh,
out
it
the
is out.
19th, so it came out 2 days ago.
Oh shit. Well,
I
that's my
actually
fault then.
did watch it. There was a lot of games. I think there was like over like 15 games that they announced, which also kind of correlates to a topic I was gonna bring up, but
Hmm.
I'm still gonna let it cook for a little bit more before I say it. But
Okay.
watching the Indie World Showcase, the direct, it seems like Nintendo's starting to actually bring more spotlight to these developers, which I think is good because some of them actually kind of fit Nintendo's brand. Like there was one called Miniko's Night Market that kind of looked like it was like a Nintendo game. Obviously, it's not by Nintendo, but it
Mm-hmm.
fit like that whole brand style. There's a couple other ones that were interesting, like Played Up. I've seen a lot of people play it on Steam. I guess it's coming to Switch now.
Hmm.
Um, there's also kind of like a what I consider like a Pikmin, like a relaxing game. It's
Hmm.
called Quilts and Cats of Calico. It's like you have cats coming across the screen, but you're also putting them quilts, and it's kind of like Tetris, or not, sorry, not Tetris, but like Splatoon, where the more quilts you have down, you can win, and
Hmm.
you're versing like two to four other players, which I
Hmm.
thought was kind of funny, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it looks like
Hmm.
one of those games where you can just play for like 15, 30 minutes, get like a casual enjoy, and then move on. Um, but one of the big announcements, well, I guess there's a couple big ones. They have Escape Academy, the complete edition, which a lot of people like Escape. I never got into that. They also have Five Nights at Freddy's, Security Breach. A lot of people love Five Nights at Freddy's. But the second one, the one that I thought was pretty big, was Oxenfree.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure you probably heard the name Oxenfree before. It was a game that blew up. I think it was like 2017 or maybe earlier. It was known for having a phenomenal soundtrack.
Mm.
Kind of is like an atmospheric game a little bit. Um, but Oxenfree has been announced for the Switch, and apparently it's coming to all consoles except for Xbox.
Mm.
And which is funny because that means also coming to Netflix too. But I think Netflix actually bought their studio, so I think that's the reason why. But
Mm.
I thought that's why it's coming to every single system except for Xbox. Like Netflix got it, and I'm like, that's just hilarious. And then there's also another game called Blasphemous 2, which I've heard about. People are talking about how good it is. I think it's like a 2D. I don't know if it's like a hack and slash or if it's like kind of like a, how do you say it? I think it's like you go around and it's like you use cards, and then these cards do attacks, but then you can also verse like multiple enemies. But I've heard good things about it. But Blasphemous 2 is coming out to Switch as well, and from what I've seen from the comments is that a lot of people are pretty excited about what's coming out. Like some same thing with Rift of the Necro Dancer. Crypt of the Necro Dancer was pretty big. It's a rhythm based game, and it
Is
seems like
that the one they did a combo with Zelda, right? Is that
they've done a bunch of So basically, the game is just a rhythm game where you're going through multiple
yeah?
dungeons, and it generates, but then also the music changes, and you got to bounce to the rhythm and attack with the rhythm. But they've done a whole bunch of
Collaborations.
collaborations with multiple
Hmm.
games, with their
Hmm.
soundtracks integrated. And now they have Rift of the Necro Dancer, which is basically another rhythm game, but more of like a Scott Pilgrim kind of style.
Mm.
Um, so that one seems like it's going to be pretty good as well. So I don't know. It was interesting seeing all the stuff that they have. I feel like this indie world that they did was very well presented, and there's a lot of gameplay that a lot of people can look forward to. And I feel like it also gets people hyped for these games that usually don't have the
They don't get the
influence in
spotlight.
in this market.
Yeah, I think that's like why it was worth talking about and sharing is that aspect, that big aspect, because like they don't. I mean, yeah, you have social media and everything, and those are, we kind of consider those like free platforms and free marketing, but like they don't hold water to something like this, where Nintendo is, um, self marketing it and giving it that, dare I say, grand stage.
Hmm.
But it's definitely a moment for them, right? So yeah, I think it's fantastic. Hopefully, it's not a one-off. Based on what you were talking about, I was actually kind of hoping it would have been more like first-time projects rather than stuff that has somewhat of a history. Um, I'm sure there still were some like I kind of envisioned like, okay, which of these could be like the next Among Us or something like that, like.
Well, there is games that are coming up that have never been made before, but like because they're indie, they're very small, and they're also making their first game. You can only build so much anticipation based on the gameplay, but you don't know if it's good or not. Like with Quilt's Cats and Calicos, or Cats of Calico, whatever. That one is like an original concept, but how well is that going to do? It's like maybe that could be huge, like Animal Crossing or Pikmin, or it could fall off.
I mean, but don't you think that those same sentiments that you just said were probably said whenever the first time something like Among Us debuted, or the first time like what's the one they called that vampire one, um like
Vampire Survival.
yeah, that one. Like don't you think those things were being said then too? It's like, it looks crafty and looks interesting, but will it really
Well,
be,
like I said, they can go 50-50. I'm not dissing
yeah,
it. I'm not hyping it
yeah.
up. I'm saying so what I am saying is that this indie world, the reason why I'm actually really excited for is that it seems like Nintendo actually looked at a lot of studios and picked out the ones that are the most promising versus more just shovelware. And to me, that is a great thing because they're actually highlighting developers that really do care about making games instead of just making money. Like even though the Quilts and Cats of Calico doesn't seem like it's a game for me, it seems like they're
Hmm.
really trying to build a game for niche audience.
For some community, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting,
and the
interesting.
same thing with Rift and Necrodancer. They've only made one game called Crypt of the Necrodancer, and that was basically like a dungeon crawler or whatever. This one is a lot different than that game, so it seems like they're also branching out with a different genre, but still using the same name. So they're experimenting. This is gonna be the second game, and it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. Like I said, it's got like a Scott Pilgrim kind of vibe with a rhythm. Um, there's a couple other ones, but like it just shows that these indie games look like they have the potential to be good. Like they have quality behind them, I should say.
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
Oxenfree, I'm pretty sure that one's probably gonna get like the Stray treatment for this year.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, I have to check it out. Like when I saw it, I didn't know it was like, I guess that day when I saw it, because I thought it was something that was like on the horizon. I
Well,
didn't know
it
it was
even
actually
your
dropped
post
already.
actually says 419, so I thought you're like, yo, we should watch this.
No, I totally miss it. For like just so you know, it's like sometimes when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like on a little miniature break from work, so I'm just kind of like oh, screen capture, and like I don't drill through this shit, um, which is my fault. But that's kind of where they're coming from. But that's cool. I'll definitely check it out after the pod, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we're talking about it here on the pod. But um, but no, that's really cool. I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad that they're getting the opportunity. Really, is what it's all about.
Yeah, dude, there's so many games. Like I know we talked about this before, but there's a lot of games that have shocked me recently. Like I'm not sure if you're familiar with the franchise Dead Island, but
Heard of it? Yeah.
so recently Dead Island 2 just came out and I was really concerned about it, but seeing all the gameplay, seeing the improvements, I'm like people really do care about the games and it's good to see that they're changing the narrative of these big studios, or not just big studios, but these studios are just shoveling up stuff just for money, but the games that have been released show that they're not doing that. They
Hmm.
actually care. Unless if you're
Yeah.
Call of Duty or Activision.
Yeah. No, no, no. I think that's always going to exist, right? I think the fear with those that do care is, you know, if they do become extremely popular and they catch fire, will they go down that dark alley, right?
Hmm.
I think that's what the issues are, but it really is hard, I think, for a smaller indie, like a real small indie company, to get so large to like enact. Like it's I don't really see that possible, ever happening. So like I think it's just good that to your point, there are those small companies that they want to make quality products.
Well,
And
I think it also comes down to just ethics because like there are small companies like we use the example Among Us that just
mhm,
blew up and stayed massive because their commitment to the game. They were small, like what I think a studio of 4. Now they're like a
mhm,
studio of like 30 and they're still producing updates for the game.
mhm,
Obviously I'm pretty sure you heard of Steam. Like
mhm,
they started off as just a company. Obviously Gabe Newell, the memes, all that stuff, and even though they obviously still make a buttload of money, you could tell that whenever they produce a game, they have to be whenever they release a game, they're always confident that it's going to do well because of how much effort they put into it. Like like CS:GO just got a new update. They updated the gen, they updated the combat experience, they updated the physics of everything. Same thing with like League of Legends. Even though that game's been around for a while, it was kind of like an independent game for a while, for in the beginning. Then it blew up, and instead of like littering it with all these microtransactions, they kind of kept it pure with just the champions and the gameplay, and that's what's kept it going.
mhm.
So even if like they were small in the beginning and they still blew up, I think some companies still maintain their work ethic of being quality first, money second,
Yeah.
and you could tell by the people that are still being
Well,
praised to this day.
I can't speak for the ones that Steam, but like I think where Among Us did or has done a pretty damn good job is they can maintain a period of game, like you said, without the transactions. But where they're making their money back is through collaborations and through those marketing campaigns. Like that's where I think that's where I mean it's not always going to be where the big bucks are, but you could make substantial money that way.
Yeah, and see, Among Us is to me the best anomaly of a passion project made massive because like even the game now, even as massive and popular as it is, it's still only $3.
Yeah.
And there's no microtransactions. You can unlock it through just playing, and they still make their money somehow. And like you said, the collaborations work because I think they have one with Destiny. They probably
Hmm.
had one with Halo and some other stuff. Jeff Keighley.
Hmm.
Um,
I think they
but
did one with what was it called? Fall Guys.
they probably did one with
I
Fall
think
Guys.
I think so.
But I mean, the fact that their prices are so bare minimum and they're still making profit. Well, I'm not sure how big of a profit, but they're still making money.
Yeah.
Kind of shows how greedy some of these other companies really are, like Activision.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. Keep saying like it is what it is, but I mean, you know, they're the motherships, so as long as they got people like us, well, not me in that game, but people ponying up the monies, it's not going to stop. So
I will say that I think Activision is about to meet a reckoning very, very soon because I've been preaching for a long time, probably since like 2018, how bad the microtransaction has gotten in Call of Duty. But it's gotten so bad where
Mhm.
they released Warzone 1 skins and Warzone 2 and they're reselling it for the same price. So it's like, why did you take away the skins people already bought and reselling them to them again for the same thing
They're
when there's
they're
no
they're
difference?
they're trying the Nintendo method.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, that's like the scummiest thing. It's like they're not cheap either. Like it's not like they separate these packs. They're all $24 each, and they're basically selling you what you already had, but they took it away because updated engine. Even though that people are complaining that the engine really wasn't updated anyways. And it's like, come on, we can tell you're purposely milking everybody as much as they can. People actually,
Yeah,
and now people are actually starting to talk about it. Now I'm like, I guess we're finally hitting a breaking point where people are tired of being used.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that is scummy as shit. Like that is yeah. But hopefully they learn a lesson and they stop. I mean that's the only way you're going to get progress is stop giving them your money. Yeah,
I
you can still play the game, but just keep it vanilla.
like I've bought since 2019. I've only bought their games on discount, and I've never bought a single microtransaction.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I haven't bought a single microtransaction since like 2014 because I don't support that stuff. I'm more of like if it's there, like like a camel pack for $2, whatever, I'll buy that. But when you purposely bundle everything else that you don't want with it just to spike the price, like nah, I'm good.
I feel like we've probably talked about this, but do you consider a season pass a microtransaction?
Yes, 100%. It's
Okay.
the worst microtransaction of all time. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
A season pass or a battle pass?
Uh, are they different?
So some season passes include actual content plus the battle pass. Like a battle pass is just items that you play and
You're
unlock
right. You're right.
cosmetics, and season
Yeah.
pass could be just like a content drops, like you get like a new mission, new map, new mode, whatever.
Yeah. I meant battle pass.
Battle passes to me are the biggest scam in gaming because you're paying 10 or so amount of money. Um, and when you're paying for it, you not only have to play to unlock it, but if you don't play to unlock it, you lose that money. So it's like, what's the
Mhm.
point of paying for it? It's like it's like just finish the battle pass, and then once you're at 100, then pay for it because then you've unlocked it. But if you pay for it right away,
Mhm.
you still got to play that time to unlock it.
Yeah.
It's like, where's your money going? You paid for
Yeah.
nothing.
Exactly. All right. Cool. Just want to clarify
Yeah, no,
that.
battle passes, in my opinion, are the biggest scam in gaming. Like, you could probably get away with it when it's like a free game, but when it's a paid game and a paid battle pass,
Mhm.
it's just like you're doubling down on just straight, just scumminess.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. So outside of indie world, so this was strictly Nintendo. I think you had mentioned Microsoft does it, right? As well.
So, if we're talking about other companies highlighting indie developers,
Uh-huh.
Microsoft did do it at one point, but they
Uh-huh.
haven't done it in like maybe 2 or 3 years, which I'm
Okay.
kind of disappointed about. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
they might have like a spotlight tab on their system,
Yeah.
but nobody really checks it out. I'm gonna be
Not like a
honest with you.
showcase.
Yeah.
I
What
wonder. I wonder if maybe they'll follow suit, and same with like Sony, because once again, I don't think Sony does it either.
I think
But
Sony
then
did it
again,
at
I'm not.
one point. I know on the PS Vita, and I'm gonna go back to the PS Vita. The PS Vita was probably one of the best systems for indie developers because people can just code, they do basic coding for the system, release it, see how it does, and the market will kind of tell them how their stats are doing.
Hmm.
And even after the PS Vita shut down, the market, or sorry, the PS Store is still stayed up, so developers can still put it on the store and for like a very cheap discounted price, so people can still play their games and get feedback from that. I don't
Hmm.
know why Sony hasn't like doubled down and used that feature to go into like PS4, PS5, or whatever. Like a lot of people still play the PS Vita because of how many good indie games that were on that system. That's where probably one of your best JRPG series have come from. Like I think Gravity Rush was also probably inspired because of some of these indie developers that came out on the PS Vita. Because I know Gravity Rush was originally a PS Vita game that got ported over to the PS4.
Interesting. Yeah. So I guess with that, like, it'll be interesting to see if like these other big wigs follow suit. Um, because a lot of these games are multi-platform anyway. Not all of them, but most of them. I mean, you did mention that one that's not coming to Xbox, but like, but generally speaking, a lot of them are like on everything.
Mhm.
So, but it'd be good to have not just Nintendo be the one shining the spotlight, but kind of everybody give them a little crack at it.
Yeah, I hope they if they do give it a crack, they actually highlight the way Nintendo does, where it's not they're mixing their own properties with the indie stuff. They actually like spotlight these indie developers only.
Yeah,
Like
just
it's a small segment, like 20 minutes or whatever, and you
hmm
highlight the best of these indie developers.
Shit, I would like to see one even if it's the not best. Like just it doesn't have to be extravagant. Like I don't know. Maybe the resources don't aren't worth it to them. But like even if it was like once a quarter, right? Once a season, it's like here's new. And like I mean, just like the regular directs, like there's games that get like a 4 second spotlight, but like a 4 second spotlight for a company with like 7 people is fucking humongous.
Well, so when I say that, I'm not talking about the size of them. So the problem with indie
Well, I
developers,
was just using it as an example.
so the problem with the indie developer world is that there's a lot of people that pump out shovelware, where they're just trying to get money for quick trophies, achievements, whatever. And I think that's why this indie world is like the best example of them, sifting through that rubble to find the actual, company,
The
the
ones
small
that could have
companies,
the ones that could have the larger growth.
yeah, or the potential that they showed that they actually try to make something good, and that's
It's like,
why,
hey, look, this is a trial run. If you guys do good, maybe we'll hire you at Nintendo.
yeah, because I don't want to see like a showcase of them showing indie developers that are just basically shovelware. That would ruin everything. I actually want to see indie developers that are actually trying to build a game.
Mm.
I
I
don't
mean,
care
because
if
I
it's
don't.
two people or whatever, as long
Uh-huh.
as they you can actually see the passion in their work. That's what I
hmm
want to see.
Like I forgot the name of the game that I downloaded. Uh, and I don't know how many people it took to make it or whatever, but I think it was some like 10-second run or something. I don't know if I showed it to you at all whenever you came over, but all it is, it's a stick figure. You run it through a level, but every level's 10 seconds. Like you just, and of course there's like stuff you have to avoid and not get hit because one hit and you're dead. And it's just like this. I don't want to say stupid, but it's like the simplest concept, but it was still addicting. Like I don't know,
Well,
and
good.
no, and it was just like I don't even know how I found it. I think it was like when the Switch was still like fresh, or fresh-ish, and that's when they started getting like all these little random indie games, and I was just like, I guess kind of like borderline bored or whatever, and I was just going through every game like one at a time, watching the trailer, and then I finally caught it, and I'm like, oh, like you said, $3? Like, let me try this out. It seems simple, easy, fast, And there's like 200 levels. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And like I said, it's just simple, stupid. I don't know how many people it took to make it, but I was like, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of funny that you say, because I was saying earlier how Xbox has a tab for like indie developers. Sometimes they do like spotlights, or sorry, like extreme discounts, and
Mm-hmm,
PlayStation does the same. Sometimes
mm-hmm,
I purposely browse those tabs to like look at to see what's actually good. Like that's how
mm-hmm,
I found the Hong Kong Massacre, which I think is by a studio of like 7 people.
mm-hmm,
It's a great top-down, tactical like shooter game like Hotline Miami.
mm-hmm,
Pretty much also kind of inspired John Wick at the same time.
mm-hmm,
Then also that game I showed recently, the one I got the physical edition for, Lumote. It's a very colorful platform puzzle game. Uh, Originally on digital, I think it was like $2, but I was like, I played it, I liked it. I'm like, I gotta get the physical. I don't care if it's $20, I'll still buy it. Unfortunately, it came damaged because
mm-hmm.
they only produced it
Oh,
from
that one, yeah,
Amazon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I
I was
remember.
like, the game was even though it was like $2 in digitally, I was like, I liked the gameplay. It was very simple. It was like maybe like an 8 hour game, but I'm like, it was colorful, it was beautiful, the puzzles were fun. It was just a, how do you say it? One of those games where you can turn your mind off and just play through and have fun. And I was like, I gotta support this game. That you can actually see where they tried.
Yeah. Did you buy a physical copy of Stray?
No, I don't think there is a
Okay.
physical
No,
copy. If
no,
there is, it's probably
no,
through like
there
one of
was.
those limited runs or whatever.
Yeah, it was. I snoozed. Like I was on the fence, and I was like kind of eyeing it, and I was like, well, it's not sold out. It's not sold out. It's not sold out. And finally, I'm like, I'm gonna buy it.
Sold
Sold
out.
out. Son of a bitch.
If it ever comes back into
I only have my blame. I only have myself to blame. No, I don't think they'll ever come back because that means it's called limited run for a reason.
yeah, which sucks.
And I think it was a steelbook one too.
Yeah, if let's say hypothetically, if one
Mhm.
ever pops up for a reasonable price, I'd pick it up because I enjoy Street. I actually have a double platinum for PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, I still haven't played it, but you know when we talked about it, you know, what is it, video game award time? Um, yeah, it got positive reviews, and it seems like it's a chill, mellow game, right?
I don't want to be harsh on the game. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought the concept of it was interesting, but it should never have been that high up in the Game Awards. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I said, I don't want to take away from the developers. They did a great job of the game, but they got more recognition than they deserved.
I think honestly dare I say it this way, only reason is it was because it was a cat. Like if it was like if it was a robot cat, it wouldn't have been that popular. Because it was a real cat. I think that's why it was popular.
I think it was just because it is considered PlayStation's one of the first few actual first party indie games because they
Oh,
partnered with that. Like PlayStation was hyping them up for a while. Like
oh
that
no,
was
no,
one of their
I
spotlights, day one, day and date, PS
yes for
Plus.
PS5. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember it, and that's why like the moment I saw it, I was like, I don't know what that is, but I want to play it. I still haven't played it, but like, but you know, I remember seeing. It, I was like, what? I get to be a cat, and it's like a post-apocalyptic world. Like that looked awesome.
like I
Knew
said, I'm
nothing.
not
To
taking
your
away
point,
from it.
knew nothing about it.
I'm not trying to take away from it, but I think
Um,
the reason why it got all the hype it did was because PlayStation was behind it.
like there was another game. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. I rarely do Google on the stream, but there was another game. I don't know if it was like that same Spotlight, but I think it was called Little Devil Inside. I don't even know if it's ever gonna come out anymore. And that game, yeah. See, October 2021, state of play. Um, Platforms PS5, PS4, Xbox One, but I don't think it's ever came out on anything. I don't know if you've ever seen this game,
I've
but
heard of it. I probably have. I just for some reason I'm drawing blanks on it.
uh, like their website almost too is like, uh, dare I say, non-existent. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with this game. I don't even know if it's ever gonna come out. And I remember seeing it in one of the trailers, and I'm like, okay, that caught my attention. But yeah, I mean, there's still, well, the trailer. Let's see, how old is this trailer? Sorry if it gets loud here. It actually says pre-alpha gameplay. How do I let's see this trailer? 8 years ago. Jeez, crazy, crazy.
Wait, this game hasn't come out yet.
No,
Interesting.
yeah, I remember seeing it. I'm like, that looks amazing.
Well, it's kind of funny that you showed this because there's another game recently. I can't remember the name of it. It's something with a T. I think it's called Taco or something like that. That has like the same kind of look and feel of this game. That just recently came out for PlayStation Plus, and it was like one of their promoted lineups. That was an indie developer that was promoted by PlayStation, and it
Mm.
kind of has that same look and feel of the game.
I'm just trying to remember. I want to say it was not the most recent state of play because I was mostly driven with FF16, but there was something I watched. Maybe it was during the movie awards they did a package, but there was another game that caught my eyes, and I think it was also a little bit similar to this. Um, but oh, there's one from 2 years ago. But yeah. Anyway, I remember I had my eyes on this one too, and all I had was a little small sample size, much like Stray. And fortunately, this one just hasn't come out.
Yeah, it's kind of funny whenever you get like an indie game that either goes through development hell or it has a concept that's a little too hard hitting. Because I'm not sure if you heard of this game called Martha's Dead.
I
Um,
sound a little familiar.
but it's basically kind of like a I don't know if you want to say like a like a play video game where it's like it shows like cardboard cutouts and also turns like claymation whatever, and it
Mm,
goes through this story of this girl going through I don't know if it was like during World War II and going a little further, but basically her father-in-law was abusing her, raped her, and all this stuff, and they actually show scenes like that in the game. And then eventually she gets killed by I think her mother or stepmother or whatever. Then she gets drowned, and then she comes back, and then when she comes back, she finds other little girls that are just like her and takes them away so they don't have to feel that pain anymore.
mm. Damn, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the funny thing is because it like showed a lot of like very deep subjects, it actually got censored on PlayStation because people are saying it's a little too graphic.
Mm,
Like it's a little too how do you say it? Expressing on certain like abusive traits. But I'm
mm-hmm,
like,
mm-hmm.
as much as yeah, it's hard to see. Sometimes you need that to tell a story. Like they're trying to say that because of this girl was basically killed because of this abuse, and because of that abuse, her spirit was so hurt that she would come find other girls that were just like her to. She killed them because of that was her mercy, but to like relieve them of that same pain.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's interesting that if you think about it, like we don't have more games like that in the world. Like, we talk about media, right, all the time, all different medias. I mean, it's obvious movies, TV shows have that, but video games definitely stray away from that.
Well, it's because they get censored really heavily.
Yeah,
Because like whenever
but
there's like a
like,
concept that
but
is
but
like that, they
but
get
like, but you look at something that like Grand Theft Auto, for example, where it's supposed to be mature rating, and we all know this doesn't get policed as it's supposed to, but you know, if you weren't a certain age, you weren't able to walk out of GameStop with that game, right? So like, with that said, like you would think that there would be like mature content games, but I don't know. I
yeah.
mean,
It's
I
weird.
don't think gaming really needs it. I'm just saying it definitely doesn't. It's been super successful since the beginning of time without it. I'm
Well,
just simply saying I'm shocked there isn't a larger library of said type of games, if that
so
makes sense.
this is the weird part though, is that there are very adult like games, but they're not with hard hitting concepts. There's a lot of
Yeah, like
section.
Animal Crossing.
No, there's like there's an actual rating called A for adult, and it
Mm,
usually has a lot of sex in it. But
yeah, I didn't know
somehow
that.
that gets through, and that doesn't get censored. But a game that like Martha's Dead gets heavily censored because talking about a topic that happened to probably a real person during a certain time frame, but because it's too realistic, they had to stop it. But I'm like, the sex part's good, but that part's not. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you censoring that?
So is it? Do you think if that was just simply rated A, it would be okay?
No, because
No.
there's
Oh,
another
okay.
game called Hatred that actually got an A+ rating because of how violent it was.
Mm-hmm.
But even with its A rating, it still got censored, and it actually
Mm.
got banned on a lot of platforms.
Wow. Interesting. Hmm.
And it was
Okay.
just because of the violence, because it was like I could be wrong about the description of it, but I believe it's like this guy look kind of looks like the Undertaker. He I think his like wife or something like that died, and he's also like a hardcore religious person. And because of his rage, he goes around just massacring innocent people all over the place.
Crazy.
But yeah,
Uh,
it's just
uh,
weird how censorship works for one part and not the others.
yeah. No, it does. Well, that's interesting. Hmm. But like you had mentioned, unfortunately, this was our only topic. But beyond that, is there anything else? I mean, we could even just stray away from this topic and just pull one out of our ass. But like, is there
There's
anything else you wanted to
this.
talk about?
So on this, not really. I'm just really looking forward to what's going to come out. Like I said, even though I'm gonna go back to Quilts and Cats of Calico. As much as it looks stupid, I kind of want to play it just for the weird like gameplay factor. But no, I think it's really cool that they're doing this. I'd love to see more spots like of this of passion projects, and hopefully that's the way the industry goes moving forward. But if there's something you want to talk about, feel free. Because the only thing I can think of is I want to play more Zelda. Got more stuff to do. I'm also happy that we finally figured out the whole Spotify issue.
Yeah, no, that's good to kind of now have the entire library back on Spotify. So, um, go and check that out, people. First and foremost, depending on what else here we might just pull out of our you know what but and continue talking about. No, I just feel like it was overall like it really was, in my opinion, a slow news week, I guess. Like even just small things like usually there's small things to bring up, and I just felt like it was not necessarily a dead week, but I'm trying to like go through my thing now and see if I could just like whip something up really quick. But
So while you're looking, I'll talk a little bit to fill this time. So this
yeah.
week I haven't been on the internet too much because there's been just so much stuff happening in real world in
Mm-hmm.
my area. But I need to get back onto I look on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff. Even though I follow a whole bunch of like gaming studios and gaming news, for some
Mm-hmm.
reason it's not being recommended in my feed anymore. So I'm gonna
Mm.
have to probably look at actual like game publisher, or when I say game publisher, I'm talking like journalists,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems like that's how you get the news nowadays. Or if you go to Reddit, because I know recently, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but our friends at Pixel Street, John actually, he's slowly recovering. I believe he just made a website called the Game Sandwich. I believe that's what it's called. If
I
not,
believe
go
so. Yeah.
check it out. But it seems like him and a couple other people from GamePro that were released are making their own site, which I think is great. So I'm going to check them out to look for more topics, because obviously there are other gamers as well that are very passionate about gaming, and maybe that's what the topics I need to look for, is look at these journalists and see what they're saying.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't. I did a quick scroll and see other crap that I liked, and there wasn't really much. The only thing, like, I guess, things that I would like to watch, if I want to bring that up, because I still have not begun to watch the new Dave season, Little Dicky. So I need to get on that. I need to get on his dick. No, but um, I think what is it? Hulu Plus, I think, is where I could go watch it. So I might do that this weekend. Do a little Dave Bird binge, and hopefully laugh out loud. I think probably half the season's done already. So but other than that, yeah, unfortunately I got nothing, man. Kind of
It,
sucked.
when it comes to like media to consume, like watching media, not like game media, it's,
Hmm.
I go through like all these like weird phases where it's like there's always something to watch. Like recently on Netflix, they have a show called Beef. That was great. It's with Steven Yeun, and I forgot what her name is. She's a comedian as well. But that's a great show. It's by A24.
Hmm.
I also just rewatched Cocaine Bear again because it's also on Peacock.
Oh, again, I didn't even watch it one time.
So if you have
You like it?
Peacock,
No.
I like it. I think people are hyping it up to be more than what it is. It's one of those
Okay.
movies where you watch once, it's a fun laugh, and then you move on.
Okay.
But I think the
Gotcha.
reason why
And
it's
that's fine.
so hyped is because it's also Ray Liotta's last movie, because he
Oh,
passed away.
yeah. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I mean, I know he passed away. I didn't know he was. I don't know why. I just didn't recognize seeing him in a trailer.
Yeah, he
I don't
looks
know.
different because he looks a little younger. He's got longer hair. He's well, the guy that's going for the cocaine. He's the boss.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
But I
Okay.
watched that again. Disney obviously still has me, as much as I dislike the company. They still have me hooked with
Hmm.
Star Wars. Like, the Mandalorian season 3 just ended.
Hmm.
Love that. I know you're not into Star Wars, and I won't go on too far, but I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews about the Mandalorian season 3, and
Hmm.
the hate that I'm seeing makes me realize that there's not a lot of Star Wars fans, because like the Mandalorian, the name is about the race of the Mandalorians, but for some reason, people are like, "Oh, the Mandalorian is about Din Djarin," which is like the kind of guy you've been following for like the whole season, him and Grogu.
Hmm.
But it's really about the rising again of the Mandalorians taking back their home world, kind of surviving after the whole massacre from the Empire and all that stuff. And seeing how season 3 doesn't really just focus on Din anymore, it focuses on the whole actual like race of Mandalore. It's kind of weird seeing the hate because I'm like, this is what real Star Wars is. They're actually focusing on the real characters that we should be focusing on, the race, which is the Mandalorians.
Interesting. So
So
basically, what you're saying is they're that nerd base isn't that educated.
yeah, and it's weird because like the people that actually do care about Star Wars, they're giving this season the highest ratings that any of the 3 seasons have gotten so far. But the casual viewer base are giving it the
Mhm.
lowest because they don't understand what the Mandalorian really is about.
That's crazy. Like I know. So another thing I think I saw. I need to go back on YouTube. Maybe you could answer this. I thought I saw another, or not another, but a trailer for a new season of True Detective.
I did not see that, but that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check because I thought I saw that, like, on a whatever featured or what you may be interested in type thing, and I'm like, oh, like, ooh, I love me some True Detective. So there's that, and then um, I know House of the Dragon is starting to film again. Um, what else I think was starting to film? I thought I read something else that's starting to film, but can't remember now.
That's probably loads of things set to film. But
Yeah, of course.
so I know I've mentioned before that A24 is my current favorite studio. They've been just rocking it the last 3 years. But there's a movie that's coming out very soon. I think it's called Bao is Afraid or whatever. It's with Joaquin Phoenix, and it's another movie from A24 Studios. If
Hmm.
you haven't seen it, look for a trailer. It looks like it's gonna be a mental mess that's gonna take you through a wild ride.
I know I saw an article about it, but I haven't seen a trailer, so I'll keep an eye out for it.
Like if you've ever seen
Uh,
Everything Everywhere All at Once, it seems like it's gonna take you down that same trip of just mental like craziness. Like it seems like I don't know what this guy is. I think his name is Bob Beau whatever something like that. And it seems like he might have a mental issue because he starts transporting to like another world while also having a whole bunch of chaotic things happen around him. So it's just it's an interesting concept. It looks great, and I can't wait to see that.
is that a theatrical release or is it a streaming service release?
Oh man, I actually didn't even look to see what it was.
Okay.
All I seen was a trailer, and I'm just like, all right, that looks cool.
Do you said you had was it Apple Plus or
Yes,
whatever?
I have all the streaming platforms.
So did you watch that Tetris movie yet?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Is it? Yeah, because I'm hearing a lot of good things about that one too.
What's his name? Taron Egerton, is that the guy? The guy that plays in the Kingsman? Dude, that guy is quickly becoming like one of my favorite actors, man. Like he plays he does a fantastic job as the guy well, I don't want to spoil, but
Yeah.
he does a good job at, portraying the history of Tetris and, the with the relationship between Tetris and Russia with
Mhm.
Nintendo and all that stuff. It's if you like video games and you like the history of video games, it's a must watch film. It's great.
Yeah, no, the trailer just looked fantastic. So that would probably be on my watch list if I don't pay for any streaming services. So I guess it's on a watch list, but I don't know when I'm gonna actually get to watch it.
It's funny because I don't really pay for a lot of my streaming services. A lot of times, I usually get deals with other services I have. Like I have AT&T, and
Yeah,
because of that, I have HBO. And because I have an iPhone and I have certain things with Apple, I also get Apple TV.
yeah. No. I mean that's probably how I'm gonna take advantage of Hulu Plus right now because um, I bought tickets to something and they're like, yeah, free month. I'm like, okay, thank you.
I'm gonna be honest. I
Um,
thought you said I have autistics.
oh,
I was like, what? What does autism have to do with this? I'm
like,
like,
why am I
okay.
learning this on the 33rd episode of our podcast? but but no, yeah, no, I get you. But I was gonna ask this, like, because I never really pay attention. Like all these movies that are exclusive to a particular streaming service, do they ever convert and release it on a physical DVD,
Yeah, most of
or
them do.
does it depends? Oh, most of them do. Okay, I never really paid attention.
Well, like if you look at HBO, for example, like anything that's
Uh,
exclusive to them, like House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, whatever. The
well, I
this
guess
well, I know
the
those are
anomaly
shows.
because they're like history always like that was always the history. I guess my question is more in reference to like the Netflixes and the Apple TVs and the Paramounts of the world.
So I can't speak for Netflix. I think they're one of the few people that don't do it because
Okay.
I don't even Stranger Things. I don't think there's like an actual physical box
Okay.
set. But I know
Okay.
for like HBO, they have movies that exclusively stream on HBO, and then later on, after like 3 months, whatever, then it comes to physical media.
Correct.
Peacock does the same thing, but they've already established themselves as like a publishing studio. Like Comcast
Correct.
is Peacock,
Mm-hmm.
HBO is Warner Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
Paramount Plus. Obviously, you know these guys.
Yeah.
So usually, if like those companies, whenever they have
Mhm.
exclusives, they do get physical media at some point in time.
Okay. Interesting. So I think it would be cool for that Tetris movie to come out, and it comes with a game of Tetris.
See that one, I don't know if that will Apple. I don't know if that will get a physical release because I think they're like Netflix. I don't think any of their stuff has become physical.
Or like Amazon, like that Lord of the Rings, right? Like, that'd be interesting if it'd be converted to physical.
I don't think it will
I
because
don't
they're
think
getting
so either,
sued
but
right
I'm just
now.
oh, are they really?
So apparently they actually
Is it the horse?
plagiarized. No, well, no. So apparently the story that they got was a half part of Tolkien's actual story, but because they only have the half, they filled in the rest from a fan made story, and they basically plagiarized someone else.
Wow, fucking idiots.
So right now there is currently a lawsuit case. I don't know if the guy's gonna win. I don't know if he's gonna lose. I mean, he's going against Amazon, which has a lot of money, so
Yeah,
who knows at this point. But there's a lot of accusations of plagiarism for the Rings of Power.
interesting. Did not know that. That's funny. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. Would not surprise me. Not at all. Okay. I mean, other than that, yeah, unfortunately, I have, excuse me, nothing really else. Maybe next week will be better. Uh, and yeah,
Apologies for being light on topics like we say every single episode. If you have any opinions, please share. We would love to hear what kind of subjects we're missing. We'd love to broaden our view and horizons. And of course, I'll be more active. I Now that things are finally getting more organized, I can start going back to gaming websites and starting to look for actual topics instead of just browsing classic social media to see what's not there anymore.
yeah, classic. I mean, I guess one thing we could have went down the rabbit hole is about the Twitter blue check marks going away. But yeah, I just thought about that because it really kind of happened today.
I mean, if you want to touch on it a little bit, dude,
We could save for next week, maybe.
okay, because I'm doing a 180 on Elon Musk. I originally his concept was good, but I think like he's going too far off the walls to the point where he's actually hurting Twitter.
Yeah, well, I think it's a ticking time bomb, which kind of sucks because it's the only one that I liked.
Well,
But
it's still gonna be there. I think I think because of his failures with SpaceX, he's kind of taking it over to Twitter. Usually, Elon has that bad reputation of if one company does bad, he kind of takes that negativity to another company as well. And I think he needs to learn how to space that.
pun intended.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, it was fresh today. It just dawned on me right now here at the end. But yeah, no. All in all, like Josh said, please leave us a like, share, comment, subscribe. $1 million checks, give it all to us, and we'll keep being here. No, but all that we really appreciate any and all the love you share us. And until next week.
Oh, I thought you were gonna keep going. I just kind of like I was watching you, and I'm like, he's slowly fading. We'll see how this plays out. But
No,
yes,
until next week. I am at the Real Shiesty, my good friend at Joshua Cass. We love y'all and
peace.
deuces.